how do you look at Naruto throughout your whole life, guys?
Okay.
Does it mean nothing to you? Does it mean everything to you?
With
Is it a little
teenage
bit of
years,
both?
teenage
It's still
years
like
growing up.
Exactly.
It's like the epitome of shonen to me. Like still like a standard that I compare other shonens to. Not even intentionally, just like it's just meant so much to me.
The
that
foundation. Yeah.
That's what I go back to.
Yep.
Even the stuff that I don't like about Naruto, and there's a lot of it, what it meant to me at that time, it's like the gold standard.
It is peak
And
anime.
I compare stuff to, yeah.
Yeah, Naruto is definitely up there for me. I grew up looking forward to every week for like the next chapter, next episode. Like even when I was in school and things like that, like none of my friends like anime, so this was just my thing. So yeah, definitely up there for me.
I don't know if I talked about this in one of the earlier segments, but the story of Naruto has been a good high school parallel of like orphans who grew up in the ninja academy in the feudal nation setting with mythical beasts and like the tailed beasts.
You gotta be clear with me how that parallels with our life, man.
Seriously.
I don't get it.
I don't understand the mythical beast. Like I don't get mythical beast.
Oh no, because the story was fantastic.
The orphans bit, like, how does that parallel with our world?
No,
like,
it doesn't necessarily parallel with us, but it makes the characters very relatable.
In one sentence, I thought you were relating high school and adolescence to what we're watching in Naruto.
Yes,
like
that's right.
Their
Because
emotional
at
journey
that time
is similar
in
to an
our-
adolescence.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That is exactly what I was saying.
I guess I did feel comparisons to being like in school, like and like how there's an academy and they are doing tests, even like the ninja tests, where I guess my academic performance, I'm feeling like a Naruto, and I'm seeing other people who are performing like a Sasuke and a Neji, who are just, the teacher's pet, and they get all the high marks, and they're praised by the teachers, and you're like struggling to keep up with them and stuff. So, and the whole idea of like Rock Lee, like working hard to get where you are and to keep up with the natural geniuses.
Right.
I always felt like that kind of. I remember in high
The
school,
show
I felt
is strong
that related.
in those themes of growing up as an adolescent. So that's why Naruto is important to me from that time.
I definitely look at this way simpler than you guys. That's
Spoken like a true Neji.
And,
You don't know the struggle
character-
of a Rock Lee.
No, like I wasn't like that. I was definitely not like that. But for me, it was just, like I like the illustration, I like the design, I like the type of scenery, which is the ninja fighting. I like seeing Rock Lee, and that's why I didn't like probably the idealistic thing is like, man, Gaara is such a dick kind of thing. Like,
Gaara's what happens when your parents are awful and like.
Gaara is a bully.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
no, but
exactly.
so I never thought of it that way. I never thought Gaara was a bully. I just thought like, wow, this guy's like, wow, he just trampled all over like Rock Lee.
He actually is a bully. Like he's, I
he
was
was.
serious with that
Abused.
example.
Abused
Like
and a
he was
bully.
abused and therefore abused others.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I never thought of it like that. Like as a kid growing up, I'm just like, wow, like this guy's the bad
No, but
character.
like we're looking at it. I didn't look at that as growing up either. But I look at it now and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like there was that thematic overlap between that.
See, for me, I find that a bit unfair because I read it then. I didn't read it now, so I can't judge it as I am now.
Yeah, but we're talking about our whole
I haven't read it in.
outlook on Naruto. Like now, forevermore. You're like, of course, opinions are gonna change about everything. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make them any less valid or more valid. It's just that they are valid. You know.
Yeah, they evolve like your
that's what I mean.
perspective should evolve.
I'm not
with your
saying what you're saying
experience.
is wrong. Just put it that way.
It's not
I'm not
that it
saying
should evolve. It's just that if things do change, if the way you think does change how you view a show than how you did in the past, it doesn't make either way invalid. That's what I'm getting.
But it's like, you know, if some people now say it's like, yeah, Jiraiya is such a like they shouldn't have made that character kind of thing. Like I never thought of Jiraiya that way, and even now I wouldn't look at Jiraiya that way.
That's like an extreme example. I think that's kind of stupidity if you're using that kind of example with Jiraiya. Like only stupid people think like that. You know what I mean? Like that Jiraiya was a fucking pervert and that he should have gone to jail because of an anime that was made 20 years ago.
That's for me. Yeah, I guess it is to the extreme, but that's why I don't look at it like that. I like to look at it as when I was younger like when I was reading this at its peak, I really enjoyed it because of these reasons, and that won't change. Even if I guess now I look back at it, I'm like, man, like it's a little bit boring. Like I look back at it now when we're discussing this, like, yeah, that was actually a pretty boring fight. Yeah, that was kind of bad actually the way they did that. Like hearing you guys say it made me think that as well. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually what you're saying is right. I'm not saying it's wrong. So it was like, yeah, actually that wasn't that good, but I still enjoy it.
Subjective, you know, like I am not an objective authority on what is what. I'm just giving my perspective, which, as I said about what Naruto means to me, is my perspective of it was when I was in high school, and then I found it really relatable. So a lot of the show's themes had a real kind of impact, like like to be
so Naruto's the top thing for
virtuous, and
you.
look after
Like
friends.
Naruto's the top
I mean,
for you.
At the time, I like ate, drank, shat, and slept Naruto. You know, like I was very enthusiastic about it. It was.
Yeah, what I'm saying. So now it's not.
I had a headband. Who remembers my Naruto headband?
Yeah, I remember it. The
I don't,
Itachi
you
one.
damn weeb.
Huh? You never had a headband? I had a Naruto headband in high school.
Wasn't it Itachi? Like with the cross
With
with the leaf?
it might
Wow,
have
you're
been.
so cringe, Xavier. You're so cringe.
I mean,
Elitist right here. We got an elitist.
well, I mean, at the time, this kind of story was just the best story. But looking back at it, and now that we've all had a really long think and discussion about, like, from this perspective today, looking back, then it's like, well, today I would never watch Naruto. But back then when I was watching it, I was like...
You're saying right now, and if there is a Naruto Kai, or like a Kai version of Naruto coming out this year with better animation, same story, better animation,
Probably,
no
yes.
fillers,
Yes.
would you watch
No
it?
filler, no padding.
Probably, yes.
Would you watch?
Yes. Yeah.
But you just said you won't watch it.
But Xavier's talking about the entirety of this current Naruto, not Naruto Kai.
Yeah.
That's what he said he wouldn't rewatch.
Yeah, I
You
would.
wouldn't
if it
rewatch
came out.
Naruto.
No.
Okay. I thought
Yeah,
you.
if
Like,
I-
I'm talking about as a story, like Naruto as a story. Would you rewatch
Yeah,
it?
not as a story.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
I wouldn't consume the
I-
anime of Naruto right now again, ever.
Yeah. It barely escaped the trap of going too long. No, it didn't escape the trap.
No, it
didn't
did-
escape
it
the
did-
trap.
it did go too long.
It made
Oh,
the
that's-
standard for how long is too long when a show is past its...
It basically see Naruto. If Naruto came out nowadays, it would definitely benefit from the treatment that like My Hero Academia gets.
Like
where-
seasonal anime?
Yeah,
I love seasonal
like, it would
anime. I
become
think that's so much
seasonal,
more like
and
accessible.
then like Naruto
and
would have an
consumable.
arc, and then it would be there for like 1 or 2 seasons, and then because the manga needed more time, they'd stop. And they wouldn't put filler. They would just stop, and they'd say, "Okay, next season's coming out next year." Or,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they do with My Hero Academia.
Like per arc, right? It's just per arc.
And they wouldn't need to drag out episodes way longer. Like even when they
Yeah.
don't have filler, they like they just drag out an episode with suspenseful music or
Yeah, with just like
Yeah.
this lingering on a scene for too long. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
I think definitely Naruto would be much more.
Yeah.
Enjoyable.
Benefit
Which is
from,
why
like,
Kai
condensing.
would be monumental. It would be amazing. Like,
Mm.
I don't know if any of you have watched Naruto lately, but I remember last year I tried watching it again, and I could not watch it. I was up to like the second episode, and I was like, "Holy shit! Did I like this?" Like, I have a big love-hate relationship with Naruto. As you can see, at one point I fucking loved Naruto, right? Like, and I've like this is the only art book I've ever bought for Naruto, and the shirts and everything, right? And Naruto meant a lot to me. And then as I got older and the hole in my soul became bigger,
You're becoming a hollow.
just stopped caring about it. No, the thing is, like, I consumed a lot more anime, and then as my taste became more and more
Refined.
not refined, they're just different, I guess.
discriminative.
Possibly, like, because I know the type of anime fan that I am, and that is that different is good, and anything of the same that I've seen before done worse is not worth my time.
Yeah.
And then Naruto kind of became that eventually. Not at first. It was all new to me. Like, I remember in my childhood with anime, I had a phase just before primary school with Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff, Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, like this was like 90s.
Mm.
And then I had a bit of a gap in the beginning of high school where I kind of dropped anime. And then Naruto came out, and then we were like in year 8 or 9, and it reignited my passion for anime, and it got me into it again, and I loved it so much, like everything about it. And this was around the time when fan subs became a thing, and I would download fan subs of Naruto online, and because of that, I did it with a bunch of anime. And as a teen, I consumed everything indiscriminately. I just I'd love it no matter what, because I didn't know any better. And then as I said, like Naruto got older, the show, I mean, the manga, like it went on for a long time, and I got older as that manga was getting older, and my tastes changed. And by the time the first part of Naruto, before Shippuden, I was reaching that point where I was like kind of over it. And by the time Shippuden, the anime, I remember vividly in high school, in like year 11 or 12, it was around the time when Sasori and stuff, like the whole Gaara rescue mission arc, like they had just finished that, and I wasn't feeling it anymore. And I was like, damn, man, I'm not feeling Naruto anymore. What's going on? And then like I mentioned before, in this worst arc, the worst arc with Orochimaru and trying to get Sasuke back and stuff from Shippuden, like that arc killed it for me, and I was like, I'm done with the anime. Like, and let's be real, the filler was unbearable. Like, actually, like I could not believe that the filler was so shit. And like I remember watching the filler before I even knew it was filler, because I didn't read the manga at the beginning. I just watched the anime, and I still remember watching the filler, not aware that it's filler, and going, dude, Naruto sucks right now. What's happening? Like, why is it so shit? Like, I remember discovering now just like that more than half or just about half of Naruto is filler. Like, I can't believe that. There's this website that shows you which episodes are filler in Naruto, and I was shocked to see that the one, like, it shows you the filler, that half of it's filler, and then the one that's canon, it says 99% of them say mostly canon, mostly filler, like half, because a lot of it gets padded, and I'm like, and that's why, David, I don't want to rewatch Naruto, because it's just fucking
I don't
like,
you know me, I don't count the fillers. Like, fillers for me is
no, but I'm not talking about the filler. I'm talking about the actual story drags, like. And like we mentioned with Orochimaru's fight with Sarutobi, and they were just standing there for like 7 episodes trying to get the sword out of him, and like that kind of stuff.
I remember in high school, like trying to get people into Naruto who loved anime and watched like all other kinds of anime, and they didn't like Naruto because they were saying like watching it, they'd be watching like the first half of an episode is just like recaps. Reviewing the last half of the
I would
previous
say
episode.
Naruto is like, if you want to get someone to pick up Naruto, it has to be the manga. It can't be the anime. That's
I love the art in the manga.
I'll agree. Yeah.
I'm 100% more of a manga person than an anime nowadays.
But
I think,
but you watch the fights in the anime.
Not always.
The key fight scenes in the anime are amazing.
What I'll say about Naruto is that the ending wasn't good, and I think we can all agree to that. Whoever's read it or watched it until the end,
they did what they needed to do to start a new franchise.
But you also know a lot of these like writers and stuff like that, they get given it kind of gets sprung on them. As you know, they get told it's like
deadlines.
Oh, by the way, it's like, oh, by the way, like
you
got to end your story within 3 months. Or
did that happen to Kishimoto? I don't think it did.
It did. I think they all kind of had that.
I don't think it got forced on him.
It didn't get forced, but it's kind of. It happened in Bleach, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't think Naruto got that treatment, man.
They kind of said
the guy had free reign.
No, I'm pretty sure. Oh, like I said, we don't know. We haven't.
I thought they
get
needed
the comments going, but
I hope they needed it. I mean,
what I felt was, the fourth ninja arc was the last arc. I think that got mentioned. He was like, the next arc is the last arc. I think that was what the producer mentioned. Told Kishimoto that the next one's gonna be a last one, And I think that's why that last arc felt like bleh, like he's everything, like you want, what do you want? You want the four Hokages? Here they are. You want like beast fights? Here they are, kind of thing. It felt a little bit rushed.
I mean,
but it felt like a very shonen thing, a shonen manga thing, a popular shonen manga thing, where
about the ending.
The ending hasn't been good. I don't find a lot of shonen mangas having a good ending, to be honest. Like
it's very hard for any anime, regardless of their genre, to have a good ending. To be honest, in my opinion.
Like I can't imagine One Piece ending. Like how bad would that be? Like in all honesty, because they've gone for so long.
I trust that One Piece is good enough to finish well. I think that's one I don't have to worry about. In my opinion.
But I hope they do. I hope they do.
Going back to the Naruto ending, I just want to say I didn't think it was a bad ending. I was actually quite happy that it was over. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
everyone always knew the last fight was going to be the thing. It was Sasuke versus Naruto. That was the last.
Yeah, but the way that it ended, I think it was fine, to be honest. I didn't like Kaguya and how that arc ended, but the way that Naruto ended, as in like he became Hokage, he mended his relationship with Sasuke, that kind of stuff. Like, that all makes sense to me.
Shikamaru.
And so I didn't hate that. There was some aspects.
No, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but it could have been better. You know what I mean? It could have been better. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
But I don't think that's exclusive to the ending. I think the entire story could have been better. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason. If you say that the editor told the guy that one of the biggest manga of all time says you got to finish in the next arc, it's not because his manga was going well. Something had to have been going wrong for them to make that kind of executive decision. So I think the ending is ended fine. I was had a weight off my shoulders that was just like sigh of relief. It's over. And I don't have to watch this series kind of die anymore. To me, that's how I feel.
Stop! It's already dead.
It was.
This is actually how I really felt about Evangelion, which the movie just came out as well. But we're not talking.
Yeah. I think for me, the ending was I agree with you in saying it was fine. I felt it could have been better, and maybe what you're saying is right. It should be the whole story, It did feel like the Shippuden story was very bland in a way. It wasn't. There was nothing really comparing to Naruto. Naruto, I think, was a much better story, a lot more character development.
I don't know, man, because I was young back when Naruto was young, and I was old when Naruto was old. So maybe it's just my change of views in media.
I think the fact that we all remember more of Naruto than Shippuden, because if you're older, it's easy for you to remember. When you're younger, it's actually a lot harder for you to remember those things. If you compare it, let's say, do you remember more of your primary school life, or do you remember more of your high school life? You remember more of your high school life.
Depends how good your recall is, to be honest. But yeah, I can.
But I'm saying
recall high school much more vividly. Yes.
Yeah, you remember it more. So I'm saying when you watch Naruto, you were younger, but you remember those scenes more than you do remember of Shippuden. So I feel I think
Naruto had better quality.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Shippuden. It did go downhill. It did go downhill, but the ending of it, I felt could have been better. But I was happy and sad at the same time when it ended. I was like, "Oh wow, it's done."
Of course, yeah. I was a little bit sad as well when it ended, but I feel like Naruto suffered from the same thing Dragon Ball Z suffered from, and that is the next arc always has to be bigger and better and bigger and stronger and better until it got too ridiculous for my liking.
One thing you'll say about Naruto is they didn't overextend it too much. I felt the fourth war, that's it. Apart from the Kaguya part, I would say if they didn't have Kaguya in there,
disagree,
really,
but
yeah, I just said they
before
ended
the Great
it
War, there was the stuff with Hidan and Kakuzu and the Akatsuki. Pain was a village destroying person, a person capable of doing that. Naruto was throwing Rasen shurikens like Kamehamehas.
Yeah, but you kind of knew, like, Toby was there, like Obito, Toby.
But
There
what
was
I'm saying is, like, I feel like those things happened because things needed to get bigger and flashier, and that wasn't part of the Ninja War. I feel like that was happening since the beginning of Shippuden.
That's fair though. I can
Biju bombs and
yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I don't
know. I feel like my opinion on Naruto like is very jaded sometimes because like I loved the show so much when I was younger. Like I loved everything about it, the characters, the music. The music is absolutely.
I love the
amazing in
music.
Naruto.
I love the
music's
like,
good.
like the Japanese traditional, like the shamisen and the flutes and the drums.
The BGM is good. The BGM is good. When they're fighting.
I loved the openings and endings of Naruto. Everything about the art, the character design. I think the character design is like fucking top notch. Aside from like the boring fucking war uniform that all the ninjas had.
You mean the vest?
like-
The vest thing?
Yeah.
I thought that
they
was
turned
alright.
Kakashi's standard clothes into everyone's standard clothes, and I was like, alright. Well.
But didn't Iruka have that clothes as well? Like that was the
Iruka
standard
had it,
uniform.
yep.
Yeah, and
He
that
did
made
standard
sense to
uniform.
me because they were in an army, like they were a military village. So that made sense to me.
Yeah.
But you could also see like they would add their own kind of flair to it as well, like how they wore it,
Yeah.
how
I
they wore
guess.
their forehead protector.
The way that I looked at it is that like I forget what show this is from, but like they introduced like gray uniforms to the workplace, and then everyone's lives just got worse because they implemented gray uniforms.
Like
And I felt
Simpsons,
like-
wasn't that Simpsons in the schoolyard?
Oh yeah, it was.
It absolutely made sense to me that the Leaf Ninja would have because they're like a military.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
that-
just saying
that's a
visually
village, yeah.
wise. Like
I
just
still
boring
liked
to
it.
me.
I mean, I guess.
They're
I found
united,
that
bro.
cool
They're
as well.
united.
It's
I agree
like
with you,
just-
John. I agree
it's-
with you.
Yeah, united, organized. yeah.
United all
I
the
mean,
way.
they could have been. I felt like the headband did enough for that. Like everyone had the same headband. And
But that's the
then, like,
thing. It was just like.
But
that's
also,
the
he's
point of our
going to be
uniform.
writing heaps of characters. Exactly, and that's the point of uniform. Like they are.
That's
military
no.
army.
That's the point that I was going to go to, John. With what you just said, he's going to be drawing so many people
Yeah.
that he has to make this. Like, so I feel like it was a choice of laziness rather than
Maybe. But it
Yeah,
makes
but like-
sense to me because he like the inspiration for the Leaf Village for Kishimoto. He grew up in like nearby a military base as well. Like his village or town that he grew up in was near a military base.
Right.
So that's like the influence on him, and that's what he would have seen. Like the Japanese Defense Force would have worn uniforms as well. It's not just lazy. I mean, it's kind of authentic to his vision.
Yeah,
But
Kakashi was
it's
the
also
copier
economic.
in the first
It's
place.
economic as well because he's got to
He's
draw
got to
heaps
draw
of
a
people.
million people.
It's not
yeah.
that lazy. Yeah.
I can understand that. I just find it ugly. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. So
You don't like that everyone is cool? Everyone's dressed cool? You don't like that?
No, I honestly, because I know how Kakashi dressed like in the end as well, and he looks worse than he does in his normal Jonin uniform, in my opinion. Like his vest is all like smoothed out, and like there's like no pockets and like stuff for items and stuff anymore, and it's got this really bland grey color instead of this nice army khaki green.
who needs items when you have the Mangekyo Sharingan?
I mean, who needs items when you can, when people summon meteors and fucking ride on fucking Kurama with a Susanoo, you know what I mean?
I sort of got
Yeah.
that's just an opening. Don't ever take that as canon. That's like I don't
Does
know
anyone
why
use a
that's in there.
kunai anymore? Any shurikens or kunais?
I told you,
in this
it's
one?
gotta
Itachi
have a
fight. The
kunai in
last
my mouth,
Sasuke,
you know what
Sasuke uses kunai.
Yeah. It
And
suffers
the fourth
from
Hokage.
people growing
Hokage.
disproportionately OP. Obviously.
But that's like every.
I think every
that's
shonen suffers from
That's
that.
shonen. Yeah, you gotta get to that OP
As,
level.
yeah, oh,
somehow.
sorry, the power creep. That's what it's called. Power creep, right?
I mean, it just always gets to the point where the main characters will like outshine the rest of them. It's no different in Dragon Ball Z, except I have a soft spot for Dragon Ball Z because it was the first one that I saw and it defined my childhood.
Yeah.
And this is a survivor. A victim or a
Naruto
survivor?
is number 2 on my list, so that's probably why I have a bit of a soft spot.
What's your number one? Was it DBZ?
No, it's Bleach. Like for me, it's
Oh,
Bleach.
Bleach.
Bleach is
Okay,
number one.
cool.
One thing for me, especially with like story, I'm a big sucker for organizations.
There's
When
got to
the-
be 13 characters here and 12 characters over there, and
as in like Akatsuki. When Akatsuki got introduced, that's when I was like, wow, like, oh, what's this group? What's these like guys with these?
that's
All
why you
these
love
same-
Bleach, because Bleach does
Oh,
that
Ble-
a
100
lot.
Yeah, that's
Akatsuki
why
had drip.
I'm not gonna. That's what I mean. That's for the Bleach topic, but 100% I know that's why I love Bleach.
David,
That's 100%.
you're the kind of
Bleach will just fucking dump 10 characters on you, and you'll be like, "Get to know them, bitches," and then yeah.
David,
Oh,
No,
you wanted
but-
more? Here's 10 more.
It's like what John was
Exactly
saying
the
there,
same
where-
as the previous 10.
Yeah. No, it's like what
Just
you
tweak.
said, John. Like everyone had their own style. Like
Yeah,
And
like how
it-
you wore your
I-
uniform as well.
yeah, that's why I
Power
like
Rangers, bro.
Bleach,
It's
and that's why I like. That's why I like Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer. Like I like the
Yeah.
organization thing of.
I mean, I think it's good when it's not abused, but
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's gotta be abused. 100%, it has to be abused. There has to be an organization in
are
every.
you a Kingdom Hearts fan then?
No, no. But there's a reason I don't like Kingdom Hearts because I cannot portray Donald Duck, Goofy, and Mickey Mouse fighting like in that like. I just
Okay.
that
So
that
not
doesn't.
even organizations can get you into it.
No, that's Disney. That's like
Right.
its own thing.
As far as the ending goes, one aspect that I did hate,
Hmm.
which I blame this on just typical otaku culture,
Hmm.
is shipping. I fucking hate. No, sorry, forced shipping, not shipping in general. I don't mind shipping. If for those who don't know what shipping is, it's when you like the relationship aspect of two characters or the dynamic between two characters, and you want them to get together.
So shipping
But,
is
like-
relationshipping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people
so-
from the beginning, wanted like Naruto and Hinata.
Will she? Won't she? Will he?
Or
won't he?
There'd
kind
be
of
like a
thing.
choice
Yeah.
between best girl, or maybe they want Naruto and Sakura, and different people would push for their ship.
What's your opinion on? We're just gonna talk about the I guess the main two. Sasuke ends up with Sakura. Naruto ends up with Hinata. Are you guys happy with that or not?
Yeah, I don't care.
Bad message for girls.
Personally, I don't like it, but I don't like it's not like it affects my life like shippers do. It affects like the shippers, right? Like personally, I think it would have made more sense if he had ended up with Sakura.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel bad if Naruto ends up with Sakura.
For who?
Why? For who? For Sakura or Naruto?
Not for
who at the worst
Naruto.
end?
For
Naruto, because
Why?
What?
okay, Naruto's this guy that's been chasing this. Like he always likes Sakura. I like that aspect of it is there. Sakura the whole time in Naruto, even in Shippuden, like she was always like she was kind of like, oh, like maybe I like Naruto, and then it's like, oh, Sasuke's appeared, kind of thing. Like it's always Sasuke. So at the end, if Naruto ends up with Sakura, you feel for Naruto being like, you're that
No,
guy.
because then he breaks out of the friend zone. That's the ultimate victory for Naruto.
No, but like
She
you're that
asked
guy.
him to
that,
do transformation jutsu to make himself look like Sasuke.
Sasuke, yeah. So it's
Just
like
hold
you're
it.
that
I just
guy.
think Sakura's love for Sasuke is so disgusting.
Irrational.
Like, yeah, it's so doesn't make sense.
It's a bad
Yeah.
message for girls. Because Sasuke treats
Yeah,
her like shit.
I agree with that.
No, Naruto's that guy that's like the girl like couldn't get the guy she wanted, so it's like, all right, I'll go for my sake. Like this guy likes me, I'll go with him. It's fine. I'll have a good
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, good.
So you
Yeah,
feel
but
bad
but
for
the difference
Naruto.
is
That's
the
more
difference is that
wholesome.
that lasts for years. Like that whole Sakura slowly getting to have feelings for Naruto doesn't happen in one night.
Yeah, but she
happens
never did. She
for
never
a
had
long
feelings.
time.
She never had any feelings for.
Oh, watch what you say, man.
She
'cause,
never
like,
had
I
a
know a lot
feeling.
of people.
Like okay, she had a
I disagree.
feeling.
I think
She had a feeling for him for like a little bit, and then Sasuke appears, and she's like, "Ooh, Sasuke!" Like it's always like she's the type of girl.
magnetically-
but
she's
she's
the
not
type
like
of
attracted
she's. I think
to
you're
Sasuke.
misinterpreting her Sasuke moments for like when she was younger and she just had a crush on Sasuke. Whereas in Shippuden, it was more like Sasuke. It's Sasuke. We gotta find him, and because
do you
it's
remember-
Sasuke because Sasuke's not with them
No,
anymore.
do you remember?
Like we gotta help him.
Do you remember in the final fight when they were trying to get to Madara, the three were fighting, and there's a point where one of those 10-tail offsprings, like the smaller versions of
Right.
them, one was gonna hit Sakura. Naruto saves her. She looks at Sasuke and be like, he doesn't care about me. Like the guy that saves you, you don't even like care about him. You were looking at the guy that's like
Yeah, but like at that point, Kishimoto had already decided who she was gonna end up with. Like I'm talking like before this whole like
when there was still ambiguity.
No, no,
there was a
no,
lot
what
of
are you talking about?
ambiguity.
No, but
What do
not
you
at
mean?
that,
Like
at the moment.
in Shippuden, like when Shippuden started, it was very obvious that Sakura had developed feelings for him, and as they worked together to get Sasuke back, it became more and more of a gray
Their
area for her.
relationship was like Tsunade and Jiraiya. That's what their relationship was. There was no like, yeah, they can get together. They can get together, but
Jiraiya and
Wait,
Tsunade
wait.
are different because they're adults, and these are like teenagers who are still very emotional. So I think
Yeah.
Sakura did have feelings for him.
I would hate it a lot more.
There's
I think I
no
would-
way that the shippers of Sakura and Naruto would exist and have such a strong argument for Hinata against Hinata. That like if the way you're saying is that there was no evidence of that is absolutely untrue. Like
I don't know. Like that's my opinion on it.
I still
My
remember
opinion on it. I
watching
just don't want
Shippuden and just like going, oh man, like I still wonder how Sakura
This is
who
gonna
Sakura is
work
gonna
out,
decide
yeah.
on.
Did you have a
And,
preference,
it-
Christian?
I didn't have a preference, but the way the story progressed, I kind of just felt like it made more sense that Sakura would end up with him, and that like Sasuke would be like the guy that had his chance, and like had his plenty of chances, and that he realized when it was too late. And come on, Hinata, like fucking yeah, she's like Naruto since forever, but.
There is a thing
What does
with
Naruto
Hinata.
think of Hinata?
I gotta say, Naruto and Hinata felt like just came out of like spur of the moment. That's 100% agree
Contrived,
with that.
bro.
It was like, wait, what? You like Hinata? What happened there?
That was my issue with the ending, like the whole shipping thing, like the fact that I don't know why, but the Japanese otakudom like needs these shonen characters to all get together at the end of the show. Like it always happens. Like in Bleach, Rukia and Renji and Ichigo and Inoue got together. In
Spoilers.
fucking Dragon Ball Z, like Gohan and Videl and like Vegeta and Bulma ended up together. Like everyone gets shipped at some point.
It's Japanese propaganda trying to force the younger generations to actually have families.
Maybe.
Reproduce,
Yeah.
reproduce,
Exactly.
reproduce.
That's like all I'll say about that is at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who ends up with. Like I'm not if he ended up with Sakura, I wouldn't be like that's it. I hate Naruto now. It's not like that. But
Yeah.
I
I mean,
will-
obviously he didn't end up with the girl that I thought he'd end up with, and I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, I would be more disappointed. Like if I had a preference of the two, it was definitely Hinata. Like if I had a preference out of the two.
Right. Yeah.
That's just-
so
my
you
opinion,
you liked Hinata more than you liked Sakura.
To be Naruto's
I think
wife,
a lot of people
yeah.
liked Hinata.
To be Naruto's
more.
wife, yeah, because
mean,
she always
I didn't
liked
watch like
him.
I didn't like watch Shippuden, so all of it. So I don't really know about Hinata. So I'm just going by Hinata's personality, pre Shippuden.
Literally, this
first part.
is her personality, right?
Yeah, it's no personality at all, and she's still more likable than Sakura.
Yeah, like
Alright.
it was one-sided. It was definitely a one-sided thing. But as a guy that likes good endings, like happy endings, like
Right.
definitely a better
Yeah.
ending because
You
she always
love
liked
your
him.
happy endings, bro. I love it. Actually. It's very wholesome.
I mean,
baby.
I guess yeah. Maybe my preference is to be a bit like realistic in that sense that in real life the girl would kind of forget about the dude that treated her like shit.
The
Well,
douche.
hopefully would.
Yeah, she doesn't.
abuser.
Yeah, she doesn't. That's what she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it becomes
the
an
girl
absent
and the
father.
girl who never took a chance to actually voice her emotions out to the man she loved missed out on that chance.
Yeah, but it's probably the old
Referring to
conception,
Hinata.
right? The old conception of like the guy has to be the one that confesses. Like, could be like that as well. But yeah, it was the whole last movie, right? That's when he kind of really liked it, and that's. I didn't like. Did you like the last movie or not?
I didn't watch the last movie.
I liked it as an ending to the show. That was for me that is the final Naruto moment in the
But
story.
like, yeah. So at that time when he ended up with did it make you feel like he actually like they were fine together? Like I don't mind them.
I don't think it's unbelievable if that's what you're asking. I think it's fine. I just think I would have preferred it differently. Like that movie to me sucked. I watched it. Look, I got the manga for fucking. I went to the movies in Japan and you get this free manga with it.
No.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And I remember in the theaters, like at the very end, everyone was bawling their eyes out except me, and because I just didn't care about the show at that point. I just watched it to end it, like to wipe my hands
Yeah.
of Naruto
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. So the best part of that movie was the wedding at the very end. Like the rest of the movie was just a standard shonen movie where the bad guy appears, they save them, and stuff happens. And then I still remember like this one moment in the credits where it's showing the wedding and it's zooming in on pictures of like every character, right? Every character has their moment where they're like giving Naruto his blessing and giving Hinata the blessing. And then there's one zoom in close up of Sakura just smiling. And I'm like, I know exactly what that is. That is like to show the haters of Naruto and Hinata that Sakura is accepting of their relationship. Like it's a strategic fucking smile. Like for the creator wise, like.
Well, she's not gonna go up there and be
feel like-
upset. Like she's not gonna wreck the wedding. Be like, actually, Naruto, I really
No,
like
but
you.
that's not
But
what
the
I mean.
audience,
What I mean
the
is,
audience who are watching it and being like,
Yeah.
who are gonna rage
Ah,
out and
okay.
stuff.
It's a message
At least they know, oh,
Yeah.
our dear Sakura's okay.
from
Yeah.
the author to the audience. Is just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
do you see this
It
smile?
quells the anger of the Sakura and Naruto shippers. Like it tries to, I guess.
Overall, it's a good story. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I watched it. That's my overall view of Naruto.
It
was
definitely
good
has a
music.
place in my heart as a anime, like an anime. that
Even
influenced me
even
in my
now,
life.
like I compare like mangas that I read now and animes and stuff like that, and I still kind of compare it to Naruto and Bleach and be like, yeah, I still prefer Naruto and Bleach. That's just me though. Like I don't doesn't have to be for everyone to agree with it, but
Like design wise, I'll always love Naruto. It's an amazing looking show and manga. I mean, specifically, the music has always been amazing. I've really enjoyed a lot of characters. Like I'll always remember characters like Guy and Itachi, and those types of impactful characters. Jiraiya.
I always forgot that. It's like, oh yeah, Jiraiya, that guy.
Amen, Jiraiya. You're watching over us
Like I
today.
can easily say that I would not be the person I am today if I didn't have Naruto in my life at
Yes.
the time.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So everyone's overall view is it was a good series, or is that?
Yeah, I love
It was, and at the time in my life, it was the most important story to me in my life at the time.
I mean, yeah, it
I
ended
wouldn't-
disappointing, and I didn't watch the ending because I didn't want to watch something that I love just get worse and worse.
Actually,
But
maybe it was Bleach. Sorry.
for what it was, I loved it. Yeah,
It was a show that meant a lot to me that stopped meaning a lot to me. So I can't say that it. What was the question, David? Like you said, everyone loved it. I
No,
can't say
no.
that.
Are you satisfied with it? Like, were you satisfied with it with Naruto in a sense? Like,
No,
would you be
I
like
was not,
you weren't?
but I don't need more.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Because like,
more
for me, I was
less.
satisfied with it. I was happy with it. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad. It's like I'm glad that it was.
Do you
part
feel
of
don't
my
like
have
more
regrets.
was less, David? Do you think that there was too much Naruto?
Yeah. I felt there definitely was. But I think that's shonen in general. They sometimes go too long.
It
But same,
became
it's-
what I hate about anime.
Essentially, yeah. Same for me. Like it's a heavily flawed show that meant a lot to me. That's how I like to refer to it. Like same with Dragon Ball Z. I will refer to it the exact same way. Heavily flawed show that means the world to me. Except Dragon Ball Z came first.
It just
and
felt
I love it.
like these shows
beyond
that like went for a long time that we watched. They went for a bit too long. Like they tried that one extra year, for example.
I guarantee you, I wouldn't feel the same way if these fillers didn't exist, man. 100%. And like padding for time.
More was
I
less.
legitimately think that really fucked up my enjoyment of Naruto in the end.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I don't watch the filler, so I can't really say, but yeah.
Like it's
100%
to the
so.
point where even reading the manga couldn't help anymore. But yeah, I just remember being obsessed with the show, man. When I was a kid, I was obsessed. I loved
Okay.
it so much, so
Cool.
fucking much. But
It's a good ending to that then, I guess. Everyone's okay.
I feel like
fine.
I'm fucking this elitist casual hater, scummy anime fan now, but like
We're not doing a good job of selling the show to the audience to go back and rewatch it.
No, but that's not the point of it. We're not telling
the
people
point is
to
not
watch
sell
it.
it
not
to
our
sell
job.
it. People who watch this have already seen it.
Maybe we're like saving them from going back and wasting their time.
Maybe.
Because
but this
it's
is why
not-
it's considered in GOAT conversations of anime.
It's because it's our generation. That it was the best for our
Yeah.
generation.
Exactly.
The
There
now
were people
generation.
who grew up on Naruto the way that we grew up on Dragon Ball Z that
Yeah.
see it the exact same way that we see Dragon Ball Z. So I completely I'm not trying to knock anyone that loves Naruto
I was actually thinking
and
that
say that
though.
their taste is shit.
Like,
Every
if you guys say
generation's
kids
gonna
now-
have their Naruto. You know,
But I feel that like Naruto isn't remembered the same way that people remember Dragon Ball Z. Like even for
I disagree.
younger generations, I feel like a lot of people kind of just want to forget Naruto, that have a sour feeling towards it now. Maybe it's because of the ending, maybe because of
No, but I think
Sasuke,
people
and
like
people
us
have
don't
cringe
really
feelings.
hate it. Like we don't hate Naruto. Like most
I
people
love
don't
it,
hate
but
it.
like
Naruto,
just an example I'm thinking of now is just like in hip hop, they still talk about like, you know, they make references to like Super Saiyans and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Whereas people
Just you wait, man. They're gonna make references to Naruto eventually. Like, and
Yeah.
I've heard some already. But
oh really? That's cool.
yeah. Like Lupe Fiasco does. I know for sure.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because we're not around that age group, man. We're like we're not that.
Animes aren't made
Generation.
for us. We're not in high school
If we were born 5 years later,
My Hero.
we very most likely would have been. What? No, we'd been
No,
in
we
Naruto. We'd have grown up
Oh.
with Naruto.
I feel that fans of DBZ who continue are proud DBZ fans, whereas people who are fans of Naruto are kind of like hide it now, and they're still not passionate about
I wouldn't
it.
say hide it.
I wouldn't
say
hide it.
but
Are you crazy,
but
bro?
I
But
would
it-
I
but
would
it's-
agree with you that they're not as proud as Dragon Ball Z
That-
fans
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball Z is more socially acceptable than Naruto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think
and
that's
they're
because the
prouder.
Western influence as well. Like, but yeah, I think it's just a generation thing. Yeah,
I remember when a few years ago, I saw like someone who was like maybe his first year out of high school, and he had like I think like a Naruto backpack or something, or it just had like the leaf sign, and I pointed it out. I'm like, oh, you like Naruto and something. Like he was like really embarrassed. He's like, oh yeah, I just I found it, like I needed the bag, so I just grabbed it. Like he didn't say like, oh yeah,
I
I
think
like
kids
it.
are just self-conscious and
He tried
yeah,
to
but that's
yeah,
like a
I think
kid
that's
being.
just
That's
I
just
think
a
that's
kid.
just anime
be.
fans being anime fans and being antisocial and kind of cringy.
I mean, he
Yeah.
didn't
It's-
seem
it's
like
only-
a massive anime fan either. Like he seemed like, you know,
But I'm saying, I think
seemed
when
like
you were
a
younger,
athletic kind
deer
of
in
kid.
the headlights.
if you were younger, I think you were more embarrassed to say you like Naruto than you are now. Like, if someone asked me now, do you
Because-
like Naruto? I'll be like, oh yeah, I love it, or whatever. But
Because Naruto was like the beginning, essentially, of anime becoming big in the Western world, much bigger than it was in the 90s. Because in the 2000s, that's when anime shot up in
Yeah.
popularity, and and then more cringe people appeared, and then a lot of people referenced the cringe back to Naruto.
Yeah, exactly.
You
That's
know,
what.
like
That's
the
kind of what I'm
cringe
saying.
Naruto run.
Like,
The-
there's
But
a
that's what I
cringe
mean.
kind of.
but we
A
it
cringe
comes
like,
with age,
reputation
John.
of Naruto. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that
What
comes with
comes
age
with
because like
age,
when you're
David?
younger,
Pretty sure Dragon Ball Z fans were pretty cringe as well. Like
Maybe.
trying to do Kamehamehas
I just don't
and
recall it,
charging
so-
like. "Ah!" Remember
Yeah,
that
like-
video of that kid that he was trying to turn Super Saiyan? Like he actually thought he was a Super Saiyan. He's like, "My name is David, and I'm a Super Saiyan."
God, was his name actually David?
I think so.
Oh God. What's your name? Not David.
So I think the cringe existed always, but the internet wasn't as big when the
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. Cringe
I just
was-
think
was
like
around.
before people are a bit more embarrassed because if you like anime and if you're younger, you like anime, it's like wow, you're such a kid or like you're
Nerd
not cool.
culture
What's
was
wrong
less
with you?
socially acceptable.
It still
Is
is.
that what you're
It's
saying?
But
still
even,
like
like-
it's still people are
No,
embarrassed.
now it's
with it.
popular. No way.
One Piece
No, but I'm
and
saying-
Bleach were around at the same time because all the big three, and I still feel that it's like people are still not as embarrassed or more proud
Because
if they're interested in
One
One
Piece.
Piece.
'Cause I
or
think-
Bleach
I think One
compared
Piece
to
was-
Naruto.
One Piece
I-
is the
I-
most
yeah.
popular as well in Japan. So One Piece is the biggest one. Bleach, I think you can look at Bleach and be like, that's more of for more adults than kids, so you're like, yeah, that's
but
probably
yeah,
more
that's
acceptable.
one of the reasons. But like, yeah, like I feel people would be more prouder or like less, embarrassed.
Naruto is an embarrassment.
There's
Naruto
less
is
reputation
actually an
of cringe.
Yeah,
There's less reputation of like cringe culture associated with Bleach.
It's alright,
compared to
man. Me and
Naruto.
Christian, we play Digimon. That's like worse than it's more
Well,
cringe probably than Naruto right now. So
but yeah.
okay.
No,
Cool.
you guys are right. Naruto doesn't actually have a good legacy, whereas like DBZ.
I think it does have a good legacy. No, I think it does have a good legacy.
I mean, I love if I'm wrong, and I like, I hope you guys are right. Maybe with time, it will improve its like reputation, or people will be more,
believe it.
I think Naruto will forever be solidified as one of like the greatest. Manga.
It has a legacy.
I just
100%.
don't want it to continue with having like a cringe reputation. I mean, I don't really care that much, but I mean, I do like it a lot. So
I think that will eventually die.
I want it to be appreciated for what it is, or what I feel it is.
That's fair.
I just feel like,
like
maybe some more vocal Naruto fans are just so willing to disregard all its flaws and see it as this perfect show.
You can't not.
That people will just keep calling them out on their bullshit.
If they watch our video, then we're pretty irrefutable, I think, in our creative criticisms.
I don't know about that. I mean, we're just saying how we feel. But
like
just
I was like I flamed on
evidence.
Neji. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like that's like 100% like.
No, but it was a weak source death. But yeah, John.
I don't know much about like the anime community, but what I do like get a lot from is like say Trash Taste, and they seem tuned into the anime community, and they trash on Naruto a lot as well, and joke about like the Naruto and the popularity of Naruto as if it was like an embarrassing scene from the adolescence, which they don't treat Bleach or One Piece or other anime they like in the same way. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I went through that phase. My Naruto.
It's the butt of the joke.
Or my emo. Exactly, it's a butt of a joke, and it's kind of treated like that through at least on Trash Taste. And so I'm assuming that that's kind of like throughout the rest of the anime
It
community.
did start a phase. That's why, right? It was it was at the forefront. It was at the forefront of the big anime boom. It's what started it. So
but the phase of cringe, like how people would say, "Oh, I went through, an emo phase. Oh, lol, embarrassing or whatever. I went through this kind of phase as a teenager." It's treated as if it was a phase. I mean,
because I think like Dragon Ball. This is my take on it. I think it's just because Dragon Ball was on TV, and you can watch it every morning. You don't have to look for it. Whereas like Naruto, you had to look for it. Like you had to like anime. You had to like download it. You had to watch it.
But do you think there's any difference how like Dragon Ball I can understand, maybe it's a generational thing, an older thing, but do you think there's a difference between how Naruto is seen compared to how its contemporaries like Bleach or One Piece are seen?
Because I think One Piece doesn't really have like it didn't have it. If you look at it a different way,
be careful
Naruto was the only one. Yeah? No, Naruto was the only one that did kind of, they had the Naruto run and everything. Like, they actually did stuff that went
Xavier,
out.
you're the one that said Naruto is an embarrassment just a second ago.
No. I'm talking about what he's saying about One Piece. Just in case the audience gets upset about something he says about One Piece because he hasn't watched it.
For me, it's like I was saying, like, One Piece didn't really have anything like the Naruto run. Like Bleach didn't really have that. Naruto had a lot of things, the Akatsuki robe, all of that stuff that became.
But I'm not saying like why.
Trend.
I'm just saying, do you think there is a difference between how it's reviewed? Like,
I think because there is more hate on it because it's more popular.
So you do think there's a difference then?
There is, because I think it's more popular. Yeah. So because it's more, if it has more exposure,
maybe that's the hype. Maybe that's the real hype to be the butt of the joke.
The meme of that big dude taking all the arrows for the little dude.
Yeah, that's Naruto. I think that's Naruto.
Yeah, where the person is like copying all the
Naruto's taking all the hits for all the other anime. That's
how do you think I'm like
Naruto is the face of
Christian,
anime,
or do you think that I've got like the wrong perspective? Like
I believe that you're perspective is a bit skewed, a bit not extreme, but yeah, a bit skewed.
I can see, but I'm probably in the
I
middle
don't-
there.
I
I can
don't see
see what
Naruto
John
that
is
way.
saying. I just think Naruto's the face, so the face is always gonna get hated on. That's
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's easy.
I've
Yeah.
been in the anime scene forever, and Naruto's ended for a while, and I hear nothing. But whenever I hear about Naruto, I don't hear anything except good things.
All right, well, that's
Mm.
cool. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't hear a lot of bad things, but I can see people who don't know anime hating on anime.
Well, I mean, we made a lot
because
of
Naruto-
criticisms today about Naruto.
We made valid points. Like it's our opinion of it.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
though we
imagine
hate-
there must have been so many like kids in the schoolyard like saying "believe it" and doing the Naruto run and hand signs and shit.
yeah. Hell
For
yeah,
every kid
that's
that did the Naruto one, there was a kid that faked the Kamehameha. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a kid that said Bankai as well.
Oh really? I didn't know about that.
I just want to be clear. I don't want you to misunderstand me. I don't think Naruto is more cringe than Dragon Ball, and I love Naruto.
Oh, it's
No,
not.
no, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
no,
that.
no. We get what you're
How
saying. We 100%
society
get what you're saying.
perceives it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just think
I don't know.
I agree with
I'm gonna
Christian.
s-
I know I agree with Christian with what you said. That I don't think people are actually hating on it in the anime world. I can understand what John is saying. Is people not in the anime world, like that don't know that world, hating on it.
Really?
But
They shouldn't
but
hate on it if they
it's
haven't
because
watched it.
But maybe they would have
I feel like
watched
it's-
it, but they want to forget
I feel like
it.
it's like low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
To hate
yeah,
on.
because it's the face. Like they can't really hate on Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball is like
It's
a
a
lot of
classic.
people still like
Yeah, are very invested.
I think, yeah, I get what you mean with
Yeah.
the face. Like, I think in the West, Naruto was probably more popular than Bleach and One Piece.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say
Definitely
there.
is. 200% is.
Yeah.
And it came out when, I guess, a lot of the people who I'm thinking of now would have been like teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's just the guy might be embarrassed, but he's young.
Let's just end it there because we've been going for
Yeah.
an hour and 10
Alright.
minutes.
All right.
All right.
For those who stuck around for this long and listened to us, like hopefully we didn't shit on Naruto too much because I think it's still a special show to all of us. We just wanted to be real about it. And if you got anything you want to say that you disagree with, please say it in the comments below. You can rage at us, it's fine. But keep it civil. But yeah, I think we're done with this.
I like
Let's
Naruto.
move on.
I like Naruto.
Love it. Thanks for joining us.